Hi guys, and welcome back to Planet 40k. We've got another bite-sized review for you today, and this time it's going to be one of the named characters from the Necron Codex, which is going to be Trazyn the Infinite. So just a refresher on his abilities and his datasheet, and all the synergy involved in the actual character himself. So guys, if you haven't already, please do subscribe down below. We are throwing out a refresher video for every single unit within this codex, alongside some of the tactical stuff that we normally release on a Sunday. Right, so let's get on to Trazyn the Infinite. One of the HQ models, of course. He's a named character, so you can only take one of him. And if you were to purchase him in the UK, it's going to be costing you £17. And in the US, it's going to be costing you $29. As for points, he's coming in at 90 points. And as for keywords, of course, he's a character model, he's an overlord, he's got the noble keyword, and he's also got the dynastic agent keyword. So he doesn't belong to any dynasty code, but he's not going to prevent you from actually taking a code. So if you still wanted to go with the Nova Dynasty, for example, you can still do that without this model actually interfering with that whatsoever. Now, as for the stats of note, it's basically the same as the Overlord, except he's got one additional wound over the Overlord. He's got 6 wounds as opposed to 5, still with the 3+ armor save, and still with the 4+ invulnerable save with the phase shifter. Now, also very similarly, he's got the My Will Be Done ability and the Relentless March aura. Now, these are going to work on core units, not dynasty core units, so that will also include the Triumph Praetorians that are core, even though they don't belong to any dynasty. So to bear that one in mind, that's a little bit of an advantage to having an Overlord model that's a dynastic agent as opposed to having a dynasty Overlord. He's then got the Ancient Collector's ability, which simply allows you to have a free relic within your list, because the Dynastic Heirloom stratagem will cost you no command points as opposed to 1 command point when you're using it for the first time. He's then got a unique ability called the Surrogate Host, so when he is destroyed, on a 2+, he does come back, but he'll be taking over one of your other infantry character models that are left on the tabletop. So for example, if you've got Hexmark Destroyer on the tabletop, that now becomes Trazyn the Infinite, and your Hexmark Destroyer will be destroyed. So he literally just replaced that model, which is a good point, but it's also a bad point because you then lose that other character, I guess. Now, something to note here on top of that, you can't be using the stratagem Resurrection Protocols, which on a 4+, you can get an infantry character model to stand back up again with these 3 wounds. You can't be using that ability as well as the Surrogate Host ability. You're either picking one or the other. But at least with that stratagem, it doesn't kill one of your other characters when you successfully roll for it. Then before we get onto the weapons, there is a Warlord trait that is connected to Trazyn the Infinite, so if you select to spend a command point on a Warlord trait, there is a predetermined one, which is Enduring Will. That's simply a -1 to all damage taken. Yeah, it's probably one of the best ones we've got, in fact, from the Warlord traits. Right, as for the weapons, he's got the Empathic Obliterator. It's a melee weapon, it's Strength +2, so that makes it Strength 7. -1 AP, and the damage is D3. When you destroy a character model, any enemy units within 6 inches of that character model is going to suffer D3 mortal wounds. Now overall, I don't think that weapon is all that great. I mean, Trazyn the Infinite's only got 4 attacks base. It's low AP, -1 AP, and against power armor, in fact, it goes to 0. So pretty poor in that department. And if you were to go up against a standard Space Marine unit, you may get lucky and kill a single Space Marine model. I don't rate the weapon that highly. If you're going up against character models in melee, I think already that's a death wish. You shouldn't be in that kind of situation. But okay, you may get lucky, you may remove a character, throw out some extra mortal wounds, but don't bank on trying to do that. That's not the way to play with this guy, unless you want to lose Trazyn the Infinite very early on. So the question is, when do you take Trazyn the Infinite over a standard Overlord? The short answer is, you don't. You don't have no access to customization with the weapons, with the Warlord traits, with the relics, because you can't do any of that. So you can't even actually take a War Scythe, which would actually be better than what he's actually got. There's of course no options of the Resurrection Orbs on top of that. There are a couple of things that you do gain, however. First of all, the extra wound. Second of all, you're getting that free relic within your list, although you will need to put that on a completely different character because Trazyn the Infinite can't take relics. And you can possibly argue a point for the synergy between dynastic agents with the Triumph Praetorians, as well as the Triumph Stalker as well, because that is a core unit after all. So getting My Will Be Done on a Triumph Stalker is possible, but to be honest with you, you're probably doing that with the Silent King. Most people take the Silent King nowadays. But the way I see Trazyn the Infinite is an awesome character in the Necron lore, not so much for the 40k game. However, he is still an Overlord at the end of the day. He's still got the 4+ invulnerable save. He's still got the My Will Be Done ability, the Relentless March aura. So the abilities are not a complete write-off. He's still usable. But as far as being a good selection goes, yeah, you've just got better options within our codex. So as for the Planet 40k rating today for Trazyn the Infinite, I'm going to go with a Planet 40k rating, 2 stars.